Stevie Coyle here. Hello there, Friday noontime Friday noontime webcasters, websters. Mighty Fine Guitars is on the air for the Friday noontime webcast with two guitars to show you today, both by a gentleman named John De Lapp. Let me check and make sure, as usual, that things are happening and that I'm not talking to nobody except me. I'm a good listener, so when that happens, it's not so bad. Very good. Wow. How's the volume? I wish I could turn down the volume on this shirt, but it's not going to happen. I got a gig this afternoon, which, by the way, if you're in the area and we're planning to stop by this afternoon, come in well before 4 o'clock, because I've got to take off at 4 o'clock for a gig. Hi, there's two of you. Happy Friday to you. Summer has arrived in Lafayette, California. Let me play these guitars. One is kind of well, this is what John does. He takes standard style guitars, Martin and Gibson style guitars, and he does stuff to them that makes them really super cool. For starters, look at this. This is kind of like a Gibson L1, X-braced instead of ladder braced, like Robert Johnson had. And look at this sunburst. Unbelievable. He has a guy in Georgia by the name of Matt Eady, E-A-D-Y, do this. And it's just gorgeous. Really subtle, lovely sunburst. This is Carpathian spruce on the top, and this is maple on the back, you can tell. And it's very Gibson-y. If you like a light guitar, which is not to say that heavy guitars sound bad, but if you happen to be one of those people that likes a really light guitar, both of these guitars I'm going to show you today are really light. Let me know if the sound is okay, would you please? Hey, there's John De Lapp watching. John De Lapp, if I get anything wrong, correct me right away, but I think I got my notes straight, and I'm going to play your guitars today. How about that? There's Nancy Paul and Chris Gasparo. Hey there, John. John, is the sound okay? Is the audio happening? Does it sound like a De Lapp guitar? Okay, not too high or too low. Very Goldilocks, just right. I like this guitar a ton. Great size. Gibson L1s were originally arch tops, and then subsequently in the mid-20s kind of went to flat tops and got braced with all kinds of, there's X-braced ones and there's H-braced ones and ladder braced and H-braced. And just gorgeous. Even the neck is sunburst. Fantastic. John, is that Koa on the binding on this one? Looks like Koa to me. Lovely guitars, and John's guitars are economical, especially in a shop like this. Big bang for your buck. That's straight out of muscle memory. I haven't played that in decades. John says the L1 is Carpathian spruce over maple, X-braced, his interpretation of the mid-30s Gibson knife edge bracing. Wonderful guitar. Plays real easy. You can hit it hard. It's not going to rattle, but it's not stiff in the left hand either. Short scale. Both of these guitars are short scale. The neck is Port Orford cedar, which is why it takes that sunburst so nicely rather than mahogany. It's Port Orford cedar, which is a great neck wood. It's a great top wood. I don't think I've seen it used in back and side wood. But it's a great top wood and neck wood. Apparently it works real easy. Ask John. He's here. The builder is online with us right now. Ask him questions. etc. What a guitar! Fantastic! Did everybody sing along? You know, somebody told me I should put words to one of my little tunes. Salt Flat Rhapsody. That one, you know, kind of like my little theme song for Mighty Fine Guitars. A6, walking bass up to an E7 chord. Stay with E7. I did put lyrics to it. And E7 back to A. 6, A6, down to E7, which is a 5, 7. There's a 9, there's a 7, there's a 1. And here's a 6 major. Everybody! Anyway, just to show you, let me play you that same thing on the other guitar I have here. John calls this a Montgomery Ward special. Little guitar, not little sound. Intonates beautifully, is gorgeous, as you can tell. Do my Carol Merrill. Very lovely. Walnut, back and sides on this one, and a Sitka top that John says is just ancient. It got thrown in with an order of rosewood that he had coming in. They said, oh, here, take some Sitka as well. Wonderful Sitka on the top of this guitar. Which is sometimes not easy on short scale guitars, I tell you what. Let me check and see if there are any questions or comments. John, am I getting things right so far? So far so good? Let me know. And folks, I realize a lot of folks are on vacation today. If you know somebody you think would enjoy these little noontime webcasts, feel free to share onto your page or to hit that share button and share to individuals on Facebook Messenger. It'd be most appreciated. And the shop is here, Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. And swiping to read little comments and reactions. There we go. Hi, Alex. Hi, Bunny. Oh, Bunny, I don't know. What song was I playing? The one I was singing the chords to? That's called Salt Flat Rhapsody by Stevie Coyle. Hi, John Reynolds. Hi, Mark David Hamilton. And if you've got comments and questions, folks, go ahead and post them here, because John De Lapp is watching the webcast here and will be glad to answer at some point. He and I will figure out a way to answer any and all questions you might have. Go back to the L1 and excuse you for the weekend, because it's a big weekend out there. Really clear, really wonderfully. I bet this guitar would record wonderfully well. Not too bassy, really even across, but powerful all the way across. Plenty of beef. Want to learn more about this guitar? You could go and do a little research on the interwebs there. Thank you, Al Gore, for that internet. Thank you so much. Look around for Gibson L1, and you'll find out all about the L1, which this is based upon. It's got this slightly elongated shape that you saw in those photographs, in that famous photograph of Robert Johnson, where he doesn't own the guitar because it was a fancy guitar at the time. I don't think he owns the suit he was wearing. He may have owned the cigarette, but other than that, I was asked years ago to do a kind of a shootout for an acoustic guitar magazine of various ostensible blues guitars, and I was so happy to hear that the Gibson that they sent me was one of the ones that I liked best. I like the Gibson Keb Mo model. That was great. The Collings, wonderful guitar. Santa Cruz, a wonderful guitar. Ostensibly blues-ish guitars, about this size, L1-ish or thereabouts. They were too ringy and full and rich and resonant. They didn't have that kind of funk to them. This has got some funk to it. There's plenty of resonance for you, but there's lots of funk too. There's lots of fundamental coming through, which kind of gives you that bluesy sort of sound. The other guitar I liked best in that shootout was a $600 Loar, L-O-A-R, from China. Your mileage may vary, as they say. You may have found any of one of those other guitars to your preference, but for a bluesy guitar, the stuff that we heard on those records all those years ago, on those blues records, those were not fancy guitars. They were Montgomery Ward guitars. They were inexpensive student model guitars, because that's all those guys could afford, and that's what got recorded. Sometimes, not always, but a lot of those guitars were pretty low end. But they didn't play particularly well, probably had really rough action. Here you've got a guitar that plays beautifully, the action is wonderful, it's set up. And unusual woods, and wonderful woods. I'm a big fan of walnut. I like myrtle as well. And back inside woods, there's more in the world. If you have in your if you have a hole in your collection, and you don't have a myrtle or a walnut guitar, let me suggest that's probably something you want to fill in, because it's different from mahogany, it's different from rosewood, which most guitars are made of. Koa, there's some Koa guitars out there as well, of course there are. But if you don't have a walnut, a walnut, or a myrtle guitar, start looking around. I've got some walnuts in at the moment. And folks, Bunny Barnes is coming along here in mere moments. At the top of the hour, head on over to Bunny Barnes's page for her 3 for Friday. It's always a gas to hear her play. She's a terrific player and a wonderful personality, and you'll dig her a lot and become a fan. What am I summoning here? John De Lapp, capital D, small e, capital L-A-P-P, small a, small p, small p. John De Lapp guitars, wonderful. Out of this, the Bermuda Triangle, I call it, of Winters and Davis and Sacramento, for whatever reason, there's all kinds of great builders over there. Something in the water, I suspect. Whatever it is, he's one of them, and has brought me many guitars, all of which were one flavor of wonderful or another. So, I'll turn you loose. Thanks for tuning in. Do feel free to share this. What's happening? The Quitters are doing a private show tonight. Sorry, I wish I could invite you. But do take a look at quittersduo.com. We're a trio, so of course the URL is quittersduo.com. That's the way it goes this world, this time around apparently. So stay tuned to where we're going to be when. We're kind of all over the place. It's going to be a busy summer, and we're looking forward to seeing you. Come on out and listen to us play. We've added in the past 6 months or so Chris Key on bass. Former Waybacks bassist, former Houston Jones bassist for Nora Jones, Jim Campolongo, any number of other great acts that you and I know. Who am I thinking of? Peter Rowan. That's who I was thinking of. He's going to be playing. Keep tabs on him for playing with Peter Rowan sometime late in the summer, early in the fall. I'll say no more. All right, folks. Your old pal Stevie Coyle here, signing off from Mighty Fine Guitars in Lafayette, California. Thanks for tuning in. If you got any comments or questions in particular, post them down below. I'll get to them as quick as I can, and I'll see you next week with another guitar or two. Till then, bye ya.